Hello, my name is Connie Metters Holmes, and this year I'm going to celebrate 31 years in this industry. What an amazing journey I've had. I've had the blessing of being a stylist, a salon owner, an educator, a platform artist, and an artistic director where I coordinated and carried out education for over 150 plus salons. A lot of change, but most recently, I made another change. 6 months ago, I got married and I moved to Arlington, Texas. And I'm so excited to see where my journey takes me now. I can't wait to see what's happening in this great state. I also just wanted to say thank you very much for this opportunity, and I can't wait to get my teach on. So here we are today with our guest, Ashlyn. And before I begin to teach you the technique that we're going to be learning today, I also feel an accountability to teach you that all good services begin with a great consultation. So I'm going to give you just a couple of quick tips that have helped me throughout the years give a great experience for my guests. Number one, listening to your guest. Not just listening, but hearing what your guest is saying. Encourage visuals. Visuals will help you and your guests get on the same plane. You can find the common component in each look that they provided that's going to solidify what they're actually looking for. Expectations become very clear at that point. Then you can consult from there if that's going to work and be compatible with what you have available lengthwise, density-wise. Number two, repeat your questions back to your guest. Their questions back to them so they understand that you're actually hearing what they're saying. And number three, remember this very important tip. Your consultation doesn't end when the service begins. The consultation actually ends at the end of the service. Because once you've given them this great look, you need to consult with them and coach them on how to maintain with products and with styling techniques. So after our consultation with Ashlyn, we decided that we wanted to go a beautiful opalescent blonde. Now, Ashlyn was already high lift with new growth, about 3 inches, level 6. So what we decided to use was Redkin Flash Lift. I chose Redkin Flash Lift because of a couple of great benefits. One, it's highly adhering, so that makes me have to be super accountable for even saturation. But because of the creamy formula, it allows me to have a more precision application. The biggest factor in it was because she was previously high lifted and I wanted to maintain the integrity of her hair, I chose it because of the provitamin B in it. It allows the high lift without risking the integrity of the hair. It provides conditioning that is unbelievable. This also will provide me 8 levels of lift, and it can be used on and off the scalp with Pro Oxide Developer 10 through 40. We used a 20. Now the mixing ratio is 1:1 or 1:2. Manufacturer's instructions suggested for on scalp application, mix it 1:2. So that's exactly what we did. I can have predictable results if I'm following the rules. Now the processing time is at room temperature up to 50 minutes. So we did exactly that. Do not use a dryer. Do not use a cap. So today I'm going to be teaching you a quick application. Why would you ever need a quick application? But before I explain why you would need it, let me tell you about quick application. It must be accurate and it must be evenly saturated to be beneficial to your service, correct? So what we're going to be using today is Redkin Shades EQ. And the reason we want a quicker application is because if you put it on immediately, you get better penetration. So you get a better all over look. Okay, the deeper it goes, the longer it will last. Also, the more even it will be. So we chose Shades EQ for our all over color because it is equalizing as well as conditioning. And you apply it to 100% dry hair. It has its own processing solution and shouldn't be used with anything but that. Okay? The timing is 20 minutes and you can go up to 40 if your guest is gray. Another reason I would choose Shades EQ is because the benefits are it adds shine and gloss, and it's also made up of both oxidative and direct dyes with no ammonia. The formula gently blends and tones all at the same time. And because of its immediate action, 20 minutes is my true timing. So let's begin. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a tone out on this. So I used my color wheel to decide what I was going to be pulling out of this or diffusing out of this pre-lifted hair. So we know that the complementary color on our color wheel for yellow is purple or violet. So I chose 09V, and then we want to add a little bit of ice to this, a little bit of ash to this. So we're also doing 09P. Equal parts, so a half an ounce, and 1 ounce of processing solution. I'm going to, before we begin, I just want to show you where we're going to go. We're going to be taking diagonal slices for our application. So I want to get the hair prepped and ready for that exactly. So I'm going to quad it off, part things away. I'm going to be starting in the back. Not only am I going to show you this quick application, but I'm going to show you how to keep it off your guest's skin. So as you can see, I have my guest draped and I have my gloves. After all, if my guest sees me protect myself, they're going to think I'm going to protect them. Now I'm going to mix my color. 1 ounce of color, 1 ounce of developer. I had pre-measured, and tools are extremely important. So I have a wide color brush, and I would suggest for all over applications, this is perfection. So we're going to just dive right in here because we want to get that on immediately. So we're going to be taking diagonal sections, sweep the other hair away. I am going to base the perimeter, stretch my subsection out, X as I go, just like a pro, massage, 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 and twist away from the skin. We're going to move to the next subsection and do the same. Perimeter, X as I go, just like a pro. Massage, massage, and twist away from the skin. Next subsection. And you will continue on with this through this back section, subsection, onto the next back subsection in the same technique, moving fast. Making sure that everything is equally saturated. So as you can see, we have the back subsections dreaded away from the skin. Now I'm going to show you how to do the same thing in the front, but we're going to switch directions just a little bit. We're going to be taking vertical slices about 1/4 of an inch. Again, we're going to hit the perimeters, front, back, and then we are going to take the slice in our hand and we're going to X as we go, just like a pro. So here's the thing. When we X and we move the hair back and forth, we are able to get a more accurate saturation. By keeping it just slightly taut, I can also see any spots that I may have missed. So once you get it applied and massaged in, you're going to also dread it away. Moving into our next subsection, we're just going to repeat the process. Repeat this all the way to the front perimeter of the hair and the next side subsection. Remember, dread it, twist away from the face and the skin. So now that we've completed our color service, we're going to start with our haircut. Before I begin any haircut, I check all the reference points. Why do I do that? Because I need to understand the head shape. Understanding the head shape also helps me customize the haircut for each guest. It also gives me the ability to recreate the cut. So we're going to start with the occipital bone, and we're going to place our comb right against the nape, and where you see the comb come off the head shape, that's where you're going to find the occipital to reference. Then we're going to move to the parietal ridge and lay the comb flat against the head, and where you see the comb come off of the head, there is the parietal ridge. Then we're looking for the apex, which is the highest point of the head. We're just going to lay the comb flat, and where it comes off the head, that's the bottom of the apex. Then, because we're doing a classic A-line bob, we need to know where the corners of the head are. This requires 2 combs. You just cross them and put them on the apex, and you can find each corner, all 4 corners of the head. So let's get started. Start in the nape with a V section cut out, or triangular section cut out, and the top of the triangle will end at her occipital. When we're cutting and we use triangles, we're creating symmetry and width of the haircut. So using 0 elevation and referencing the first vertebrae, we'll be creating our stationary guide. We're point cutting to soften the perimeter. We're taking diagonal slices. We are going to laterally direct them, which is the side-to-side movement of a subsection. We're going to laterally direct them at 0 elevation using our stationary guide in the center. We'll create a softened perimeter again, and we'll move to the next side, taking diagonal subsections again, about 1/4 inch. Using our stationary guide, 0 elevation, fingers flat to the nape, and then we're going to repeat these steps from side to side. So moving to the sides, we're going to be using those reference points of the corners that we learned earlier. So we're going to diagonally part, bring it back to the corner slightly elevated, and again we'll be point cutting to keep that perimeter soft and flowing consistently through the haircut. You'll be taking 1/4 inch subsections until you run out of hair, and continuously softening the perimeter. And you're going to finish this side out, and then you'll do the exact same thing on the next side. So now that we've finished both sides, we're going to polish out the haircut. Stay tuned for the style out. So here's our finished look for the day. We have a beautiful lavender ice blonde, level 9. We learned how to use shades EQ properly. We learned a very easy geometric cut using all the reference points and softening our perimeter. Thank you for this beautiful opportunity. Have a beautiful day.